Well, hi there, folks. I'm Captain Benzie, and welcome back to another video for EVE Online. In today's video, we're going to be going through the Mining in Focus New Ore and More article that CCP have just posted to the EVE Online website. This is following on with more specific details about the Catalyst expansion coming on 18th of November. If you want to learn more about Catalyst, I covered that in a video a few days ago. I'll link it on screen in the description. It's also the most recent video on my channel besides this one, so you can have a look at that and get an idea of what's coming in Catalyst. This article is more focused in on mining, learning about the changes that are coming. Now, I do realize that I'm putting out two notes style videos in a row. First of all, this being a note style video means there's not really going to be much in the way of flashy graphics on screen, although there is a video that is very, very cool that we're going to be looking at in just a moment. So do put the kettle on, grab yourself a cup of tea and a biscuit, settle down, maybe listen to this like a podcast if that's how you prefer to sort of take this kind of content in. I do have more visually exciting content coming very soon, including some possible narrative videos, but more on that later. So let's jump straight into this then. Ore is at the heart of New Eden. With the Catalyst expansion coming 18th of November, mining is becoming increasingly dynamic, rewarding, and fiercely contested. Hyperspace fractures revealed phased fields and volatile asteroids rich in a valuable new ore, Prismaticite. Read on or listen on for details about some of the exciting mining and industry updates coming with the expansion. Start planning your path from rocks to riches. Now, before we go any further, I need to point out I'm not a miner, not by like main trade in EVE Online. I'm an explorer, I'm a PvEer, I'm a wormholer, right? Mining is something I've done occasionally, and I've protected many, many mining fleets in my time. I've listened to miners chatter in Discord and things. Ultimately, I think I know enough about mining to understand most of what's going on here. But if I do miss anything, or you think that I've got something wrong, please let me know politely in the comment section down below. And just to show that you mean no harm by trying to correct me, hit like and drop a subscribe while you're down there anyway. So let's have a look at this video then, and I will pause this at key moments because there is some really exciting stuff in here. So, without further ado, let's go.
Mining is the foundation of everything in EVE and is becoming increasingly dynamic, rewarding, and fiercely contested.
At the end of Revenant, 5 factions seized control of the wormholes central to the Drifter crisis. These factions agreed to experiment aggressively on the Hyperspace network and share their findings. But the experiments had unintended consequences.
Someone who's big on their lore in EVE Online, especially the wormhole stuff with drifters, sleepers, and Thera, etc. This is really exciting that they're linking back into that.
Catalyst expansion brings mysterious hyperspace fractures, rich with a powerful new ore, igniting a resource rush.
Hyperspace fractures have begun to form in waves, exposing unusual asteroids made of something entirely new to the denizens of New Eden, Prismatic Ore.
Prismaticite is mined from a new kind of asteroid that is only partially phased into the universe.
Can we just pause on that a moment? It is a new type of asteroid that is only partially phased into the universe. Now, remember, EVE Online is very, very hard sci-fi in a lot of cases. A lot of the stuff that you look at is very heavily based on real-world science. It is clear that when you spend time reading through item descriptions and that in EVE Online, a lot of what they're based on is based on genuine astrophysics and quantum mechanics and stuff like that. This excites me, right?
A fracture is traveling along a large rift in space, and as the latent asteroids pass through it, they become breached, and then they're available to mine. Phase fields are rare and extremely lucrative sites that can be found in low-sec and null-sec.
You go out.
Sorry, Highsec players, you're going to have to step outside your safety belt for this one.
You find these hyperspace fractures in space. You scan them down, you warp in, and there's valuable ore just waiting to be seized.
Once the site has been scanned down, the race is on to recover as much prismaticite as possible. The sites themselves will last for several days, and prismaticite will be available to be mined at different periods during that time.
From what we can gather there, the site exists for a significant period of time. It should have other ores in there as well, but the actual prismaticite sort of phases in and phases out. It is not always in the site, and once you've mined some of it, more may appear later on.
The kicker is that the clock is ticking. After a while, the sites will start broadcasting their location to everyone in the area, and even if nobody finds you, the fracture is going to start to collapse. So you got to get in, get the goods, and get out. These sites are designed to make piloting industrial command ships more engaging. You're actively managing the process, you're making decisions about when to commit, what to prioritize, and when to cut and run.
I really like that as well. I like command ships. I think they're a really interesting thing. But currently, mining command ships are just that kind of, if we've got one, bring it because it makes mining better. Now it's like we really need one of these to make the absolute most out of everything. All the rocks in there are timed and on different timers. So which ones do we go for first? It makes mining much more, I don't know, much more intrinsically active. You're having to make actual decisions rather than just I warp in and that's the most valuable one, so I shoot that and then I warp out. Now it's like, oh, which of these do I go to? Which one do we get first?
You're the cornerstone of the whole operation, and you've got to stay engaged the entire time. We're trying to inject unpredictability into mining. Phase fields can create moments where these crazy valuable sites just appear and you have to make a call. Do we drop everything and go for it? Is it worth the risk?
Prismaticite is a brand new ore in EVE, and it's doing something we've never done before. Prismaticite doesn't give you a fixed, predictable output. When you reprocess it, you'll get a random mineral in a random amount.
And I know I'm going to upset a lot of people. Please take this in the kind-hearted, jovial way it's meant. That's going to upset a lot of my industrial friends who live and die by their spreadsheets, having to actually work around the concept of randomness. There's a lot of industrialists who don't like that because it's unpredictable. You can't put it in a spreadsheet, right? And if it doesn't fit in a spreadsheet, it's the whole anti thing of a cat. The cat has if I fits, I sits. The industrialist has if it doesn't fit in a spreadsheet, I don't want to know. Jokes aside, though, I know a lot of industrialists are already very excited about this.
Think of it as a roll of the dice, a chance to strike big on something valuable. This new system adds a layer of excitement and unpredictability to mining. You can try your luck when reprocessing, or if you prefer more control, you can still follow the reactions route for a guaranteed result. Because this is the first
I think that's sorry, I missed the pause button. I think that's a really key point here as well, that you can sit there and just take the roll of the dice and you could win big. You could win big. You could get something really valuable in a really high amount. It's kind of like using the I forget what they're called now. Things you get from Abyssal Dead Spaces, mutagens. Things like that, the adaptive mutagenics, where you could get a really nice module outcome, but you could get absolute trash as well. What I like about this, though, is for those industrialists who prefer to go the slow and steady route, who have a particular goal in mind, you can absolutely still go down the reactions route and push this into exactly what you want when you want it. That's a really cool midway point.
ore using this new approach, we wanted to make it special, literally the most valuable ore in the universe. But herein lies the question. How do we make the most valuable ore in a universe where players or the market decide what's valuable? Well, Prismaticite's value comes from not what it is, but what it could be. You get to decide what mineral to convert it into, whenever you want, giving you a flexible, on-demand resource that keeps its value no matter what the market does.
Think about that for a second. If you have a load of prismaticite sitting around, like imagine you've got, say, I'm just going to use, for example, kernite and tritanium, like, whatever. Like if you've got two different ores, ore A and ore B, I'm going to go with that so that I don't even, offend any miners. Ore A and ore B, and ore A suddenly crashes in the market. And then so ore B shoots up in value. But then later on, ore B drops in value and ore A shoots up. If you have the wrong amounts of either of those, then you could really lose out big. If you're sitting on prismaticite, however, it can be ore A, it can be ore B. When ore A is in high demand, you have it available. When ore B is in high demand, you have it available. When ore C, D, E, F, G, H, all the way to Z is, in high demand, your prismaticite can be that ore.
Initially, the mining efficiency from the asteroids will be poor, but if you deploy a phased anchor and power it with enough industrial command ships, you can temporarily phase in the asteroid.
Which is so cool. It's not just, oh, your little orca or whatever's come along to, assist and make your mining better. No, they're actually making sure that the bloody asteroid is fully phased into existence so you can get the full amount out of it. That is such a brilliant concept. I love it.
When phased in, the asteroid can be exploited at full efficiency, and much more prismaticite is recovered per cycle. When the breached asteroid leaves the fracture or is mined out, the asteroid will collapse and no longer be accessible. It's also important to note that the phased anchors carry a limited number of activations and they're not scoopable, so remember to bring a few with you.
What I think players are going to enjoy the most is the chaos. Like, you find a site that someone has abandoned with a phase anchor still sitting there. Do you use it or do you set an ambush?
Oh, that's such a delicious opportunity. I can't wait to be in that position. Like, guys, that site we just found, it's already anchored. Like, do we pull a PvP fleet in or do we pull a mining fleet in? Which one do we bring?
The PvPers are going to be all over these sites too,
Boom, exactly what I just said.
because once the sites go public, they know exactly where to find active mining ops with all these crazy valuable ships on grid. So
Who wants a Roracle kill?
yeah, the disruption to routine, the meaningful risk, and the potential for everything to go sideways, that's what's really cool about it.
With the Catalyst expansion, we're focusing on making mining feel smoother and easier to understand.
Mining in EVE Online has always been the cornerstone of the game. Our goal is to make the moment-to-moment mining experience feel more engaging and immersive. We want to help new players gain mastery by making it easier to understand the mining environment quickly at a glance.
The new UI and in-space overlay will give you a color-coded indication of the ore left in asteroids, ice, and gas clouds.
This excites me so much. Like, if you watched my Catalyst video, you saw how I reacted to this. But the fact that it also affects gas clouds, yes.
This offers
look at it.
real-time, more responsive information on what's happening in every cycle. The Ore
It's so
industrial
pretty.
command ships will also be able to give everyone in the fleet the effects of a mining scanner. We want to empower you with the information you need to make confident choices when you're mining.
Mining Crit brings a new sparks to EVE's mining gameplay. Now each mining laser cycle is faster and has a chance to score a critical success, giving you a bonus yield, an exciting visual, and audio cues to mark the moment.
We are surfacing valuable info directly in the 3D scene to improve decision making. Accompanied with enhanced audio and visual feedback, the mining experience feels more alive.
Which honestly, I think mining needed. Like, I don't think mining. There are some people who have suggested that mining should be like a mini game, kind of like fishing is in Dredge and things like that. I don't necessarily agree with that because I think a lot of miners enjoy it for how purely passive and sort of disengaged it can be. I think if you did something like that, it needs to be optional that would improve the situation. You know, you could still just let it run, let your mining lasers run, and still get what you would normally do. But you could also do something to improve it, like some mini game kind of thing. I think this is a really nice way of doing it. Mining crits is fun because it triggers the monkey brain. Monkey brain sees bigger number, monkey brain happy.
We've also added a shortcut for you to instantly compress all ore in cargo. A small addition, but it will make your life easier.
The new overlay brings such a fresh sense of clarity and impact. It is more modern, more focused, and it really transforms how you read and react to what's happening in space.
You can also instantly see the state of your mining cycle, understand what's going on, and make decisions that feel meaningful in the moment. It's a big step towards making mining not just functional, but also visually satisfying and immersive.
We're looking forward.
It's also worth pointing out that visually satisfying might sound like such a weird thing to focus on, but a lot of a lot of studies and that have shown in video games that audio and visual design can absolutely make or break a game. There's a brilliant example I love to use of this, of one of the Call of Duty games having a shotgun that no one was using in PvP. And when they looked at it, they were like, well, why is no one using this? It must be a really bad weapon. Turned out it was actually overtuned. So they put out a new patch where the patch notes simply said, we've changed the shotgun. And suddenly it shot right up. What they did was change the sound effect that the shotgun made. That was it. They didn't do anything to the visuals, just changed the sound. In fact, the numbers were tuned down to bring it back in, but its usage rate absolutely spiked. People loved it because it felt better to use. Looking at something visual and audio, it can make mining a lot more engaging just because it feels better.
For you to experience mining in a completely new light.
I'm actually genuinely excited as a non-miner to go out there and try this. This is my kind of thing. I like it. So in the wake of the Drifter crisis, aggressive experimentation by the emergent power blocks has triggered the formation of hyperspace fractures across New Eden. Whoops. They reveal phased asteroid fields rich with prismaticite, a new unpredictable and immensely valuable ore that, when refined through standard methods, yields random minerals. By using reactions to reprocess it, however, you have control over the outcome. This versatility makes prismaticite the most valuable ore ever seen in the cluster. Accessing these sites requires precision and nerve. Deploy new mobile phase anchors to phase in the asteroids, then move quickly because the fractures are always in motion. It looks like they actually do drift to get out of the, like there was like a ring you can almost see. It looks like perhaps once they go outside that ring, that's when they dephase, which is pretty cool. Use the brief window they provide to access phased asteroids and the prismaticite that they contain. Bring an industrial command ship to maximize yield. Be warned, the rewards are great and so are the risks, as rich opportunities attract hunters. They can be found in low-sec and null-sec, must be scanned down with probes as they're not visible on the overview at first. So yay, more stuff for folks like me with scanners to get down. A phased field will last about 40 hours in total. Each field contains 4 phased asteroids as well as regular ones. Until you deploy a mobile phase anchor within 50 kilometers of the phased asteroids and supply it with enough energy, they are only mineable at 10% efficiency. Any combination of 1 Rorqual, 2 Walkers, and 3 Porpoises can supply the required energy. So 1 Rorqual is going to be enough to power it, 2 Walkers on their own, 3 Porpoises, or you can do a mix of, say, 1 Orca and 2 Porpoises. That will also be enough to power it fully. That's pretty cool. It gives a little bit of versatility and variety as how you do that. After 60 seconds of charging, the asteroid phases into 100% efficiency for several minutes, then phases out again. So you do have to keep it charged. This is what they were saying about the command ships having to remain engaged. Charges and loss. Mobile phase anchors are not scoopable. They've got 10 activations and cost around 5 million ISK each, so it's a good idea to bring multiples. So 60 seconds of charging, several minutes, and then 10 activations. So it looks like several minutes, so several times 10. Call that maybe an hour, and there's 40 hours of these in total. So you are going to need to bring multiples, especially since there could be 4 of these asteroids in a field, so you're going to need a lot of those with you. About 20 hours after they've initially been scanned down, the site spawns a beacon that appears on all overviews and becomes discoverable on the star map. Almost kind of like a K162 for a wormhole, in that it's not there until it's scanned and sort of jumped to, and then suddenly it is. But a little bit more obviously, it goes from being an unscanned thing on the overview to being a public information scan that anyone can just warp to, which is huge. I wonder if that'll appear in things like the overview and like air opportunities and things like that as well. That'd be very cool if it does. Late stage jackpot. The last 2 phased asteroids containing the largest amounts of prismaticite won't activate until after the site is globally visible. That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal. So if you want to be really sneaky, you're going to get in and get out as quickly as possible on just those first 2. The second 2 are the biggest ones of prismaticite, but at that point, the whole thing is publicly visible, so it's easy for other people to hunt it. I love it. Once public, hunters know exactly where valuable mining ops and expensive ships are going to be located, so you can expect ambushes and brawls. Yes, please. This is brilliant. I love it. Because there's always that worry, that downside, that if you're adding loads of new minerals and, like, valuable stuff, that it's suddenly just going to flood the market with all of these things. Not when there is an inherently large risk. This is very much high risk, high reward, and that is Eve to a nutshell. Low risk means low reward. High risk means high reward, and this just fits that in a really beautiful, exciting way. Mining is getting more responsive, more tactical, more rewarding. Faster mining cycles make the process more efficient, dynamic, and satisfying. So I have 4 times shorter cycles with proportional reductions in yield per cycle. So what this means is if it, for example, took a minute to cycle and gave you 100 ore, it's now going to take 15 seconds to cycle with 25 ore per cycle. So the total amount used and gained is the same. So still the same capacitor, still the same volatility to your crystal damage, that kind of thing, as it would be over time before. Just means you get the same yield over time, but more feedback because you're constantly seeing that update, constantly seeing the numbers change. It also does mean that if you need to warp away quicker, then you lose out on less, which is pretty cool. And with mining crits, there's more chance for getting bigger things, right? Critical mining hits bring the thrill of anticipation to every cycle, offering bonus yield on successful strikes. They do not reduce the remaining ore in the asteroids, so every time you get a crit, it just increases the amount of yield you're getting, not how fast you mine the asteroid. Skills and modules improve your odds and increase the excitement. Nice. I always like a new skill to train. New modules to learn about as well is pretty cool. That always gives me new video content to work on. But the fact that it is just, you've got faster cycles and the possibility of seeing those cool visual and audio strikes as well. The mining interface has been reworked with clear real-time data and cleaner presentation integrated into the space scene itself. You can now see how much space you have left in your mining hold in space on your ship's HUD, which is very cool. A new hotkey will allow you to compress all ore, ice, and gas in your hold, bringing more efficiency to your ops. Yay! All corvettes and bonus mining ships will get built-in mining surveyor with a new expansion, and in-space overlay will be added, showing you color-coded values for asteroids, ice, and gas. When your surveyor is upgraded through a module or command burst from fleet mates, you'll see total value, helping you make more informed decisions. Let's have a look at the video we've got here. This is only a 16-second one. That's going to take time to load. This is just to show the, there it is, the button down there, the mining scan. And then, oh look, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So you can see there, yellow, blue, that kind of thing, just to show you which ones have the stuff in there. Or industrial command ships will be able to grant fleet-wide upgraded mining surveyor functionality with their mining foreman bursts. That's where you get the actual details rather than just the color coding, the numbers. Highsec mining sites, new visual updates and return of anomaly sites bring Omber and Kernite back to Highsec. Complete them for a rare chance at Highsec mining escalations, or use your scan probes to discover hidden mining sites with valuable ore. All mining missions are getting a visual overhaul, and the ISK and LP rewards for levels 1 to 2 are being increased by 50%. Good, because these were absolutely terrible. So getting more of those for mining gives you, a bit more coming in. Mining mutaplasmids, mutate your mining modules and drones for unique effects. Mining mutaplasmids introduce risks and reward to industry fittings, let you push your yield and efficiency to unpredictable extremes. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with mutaplasmids coming out of abyssal dead spaces, being able to modify things like your shield boosters, some of your weaponry, and like your afterburners and that. Really cool. You might get one that gives you massive boosts to like yield, but at a cost of a lot more capacitor, or just it damages faster and stuff like that. It's all kinds of stuff. Make sure you tune into CCPTV at 1500 UTC, 6th of November, for a stream that dives deeper into the mining changes coming with the expansion. I will see if I can be around for that. I'm not sure if I'm around on the 6th, but I'll see what I can do to jump in and we can share that one all together. Watch out for another in-focus video and blog next week, which will dive into the new ships, which I'm very excited about, especially the Odyssey, the 2D map, which also excites me, and carrier changes, new balance and updates come to carriers in Catalyst. It's a very exciting times there. I'm genuinely excited about this. It gives PvPers more to do, and it gives folks like me who are not big on mining a chance to jump back in and give it another go. The fact that it is also buffing, helping out at least, like gas as well, that the gas, you'll get those scanners to see how much gas is left in a field, plus you've got the, the faster cycle times but lower yield and things like that for it. I think that's for gas as well. It doesn't really confirm, but it doesn't deny either. I'm excited to go gas huffing, and I'm actually excited to jump into a venture and go just mining as well, see if I can jump in with a core and do some of these sites. They look really cool. I'm very excited about this. What are you most excited about? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you've made it this far into the video, before you go, please just bear in mind that I love making content like this. If you are new to EVE Online, you can use my creator code in the description down below. Get yourself 1 million free skill points. It doesn't have to be a new account. If you've got an existing account and you haven't used one of those links before, it'll still give you 1 million free skill points, which you can use on your character for free. Very cool. And if you are thinking of buying anything from the New Eden store, Plex, that kind of stuff, use my creator code CPTBENZIE. It's no extra cost to you, but I get a nice little kickback as thank you from CCP for making content. The more of you use that code, the more thankful CCP are for me, and they see, that you guys are enjoying my content. I see that you're enjoying my content. I make more content. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.